Hey folks, Randy Newberg here. I got a bunch of ammunition laid out in front of me because we went out to our social media platforms and asked a question, and over 600 of you replied. It's crazy. I went through all of those, and thank you for all those replies. But the question was, what is your favorite elk cartridge for normal hunting ranges? Okay, in our office we say that's 400 yards or less. We don't get into discussions of out there 600, 700, 800, 1,000 yards. We don't view that as a normal hunting distance. Some of you are more than capable of doing that, but that's not where we start. We always keep closer distances. Well, so many of you had pretty similar answers. I was surprised. I expected a much wider spectrum. I was not surprised at how many of you said the 30-06 or the 300 Win Mag or the 7mm Remington Mag. Even a lot of you went old school with the old 338. All of the choices out there were really, really good choices. Well, the most popular choices by a mile were the 30 caliber family. The 308, the 30-06, the 300 Win Short Mag, and the 300 Win Mag. I would say that if you are very accurate with any of these four, you're going to kill every elk you shoot at within reasonable range. I would say the same probably applies with most of the 284s. You know, if you have tougher shot angles, the 7mm 08, you're asking it to do an awful lot of work for a smaller cartridge. So it gives you less latitude for air, less latitude for difficult shot angles. And that can be said through this whole band here, starting with the 6.5s and the 26s. So work your way up this spectrum to the largest cartridge or largest diameter caliber and whatever cartridge within that caliber that you can shoot dead on accurate. And that's probably the best answer I can think of for what is the best elk cartridge. The other thing you're going to find is a lot of this is personal opinion. If you came to this office and 5 of us were sitting around and you asked us, what's your favorite elk cartridge? We'd probably have 7 or 8 different answers, just like all of you, just like out at your hunting camps. Anyhow, that being what it is, a lot of people focus on energy. Energy is going to be a measurement of foot-pounds. And know that the calculation for kinetic energy squares the velocity. Kinetic energy is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. So it overemphasizes velocity and de-emphasizes mass. And just remember, energy isn't everything. It's super important, but it's not the only thing. You have things like sectional density, because if you have a super light, super fast bullet that delivers the same energy of a moderately fast bullet that's heavier with a higher sectional density, you're going to get greater penetration from that slower bullet than this hyper fast bullet. And penetration is also what kills elk. You don't kill elk by getting 2 inches of penetration. I think it's a general good starting point to discuss energy in terms of a good elk cartridge. And I've said at whatever distance you're shooting, you want your energy to be 1,500 foot-pounds or higher. Now, you can get 1,500 foot-pounds by just something that is smoking fast and super light. So what's the most popular cartridge by a mile in the last 10 years? It's over here. It's 6.5 Creedmore. And some of you said a 6.5 Creedmore. And I'm not going to get in that argument because it's a super accurate round, but it's probably not going to be most people's first choice. And your responses kind of prove that. But the people who like the 6.5 Creedmore or the 6.5 PRC or the 264 or the 26 or any of those are pretty hardcore that this is what you got to have. There are no correct answers. The whole idea of doing this is to get you to think about these equations, get you to think about the cartridge, but also the bullet. Because the other thing I did when I went through all 600 of those comments is I looked at what people said their bullet was that they were using. So if you're going to use, I'm going to pull one out of here. This is a full copper bullet. It is a Nosler E-tip. A full copper bullet has to have higher velocities. That's by design. That's how full copper bullets or non-lead bullets are designed by every manufacturer. They load them hotter. So the further you get out there and the slower your velocities, the harder it is for this bullet to do what it was designed for. So some of you were talking about using match grade bullets, and they will kill elk. But I don't know very many experienced elk hunters who are going to say, oh yeah, hunt with match grade bullets, because they're designed to do one thing. All these bullets you see here are designed to do something else, and that is to expand at the velocities necessary to mushroom and create wound channels and to transfer all of that energy into the animal. So I think that's a big reason why so many of you were big fans of the 30 calibers, the 308, the 30-06, the 300 Win short mag, and the 300 Win mag. I would say that if you are very accurate with any of these four, you're going to kill every elk you shoot at within reasonable range. As long as you select a quality bullet, that elk is as good as dead. I've kind of progressed from the low end of what I think are the absolute minimums. Up here, this is a 270 to the 284s to the 30 calibers. And you can go as far out here as you want. You look at how easy it is to be at the bench and practice with one of the 6.5s. It doesn't punish you. You put a suppressor on it and it's just like boom, boom, boom. You feel like you're at the shooting gallery at the carnival. You start moving your way up and you start having more recoil, more recoil, more recoil. Are you going to practice as much? Hopefully you are. The more you practice, the more lethal you will become, because the more accurate you will become at all hunting distances. And if you put a good bullet, whether it's a bonded bullet, a partition type bullet, or a full-on non-lead bullet in any of these, and you keep the energies above 1,500 foot-pounds, and you put that bullet where it needs to be, anywhere under 400 yards or under, you've got a really good elk cartridge. And I hate to be old school, but all of you supported my belief. Not all of you, but the overwhelming majority of you supported what I would have voted for, which would have been one of the 30 calibers. Practice, be accurate, know what your load does out to hunting ranges, make sure that cartridge has a really good performing bullet, and every bull elk that you shoot at, if you do your job, that bull elk is going to come home with you.